Hello everybody, my name is WyattMPony and welcome back to another Muffin Macabre video, and today I'll be doing another reaction to Evernight. This is a grimdark AU MLP fanfic reading, and this is of course by TheLostNarrator, but it was written by Wisdom Thumbs, narrated by TheLostNarrator, with her as Applejack and Mag as Granny Smith. So it's a story everyone knows. Nightmare Moon wins, the princess disappears, sun preserve her. An eternal night descends on Equestria. Darkness begets terror, and terror smothers friendship. In other words, things fall apart exactly as expected, and then ponies get on with their lives. Funny how that works. Applejack's a natural at getting on with things, but in this world, farming just ain't an option. So what's a pony to do? Well, in her defense, monster hunting seemed like a nice gig at the time. So this is going to be a very interesting story, since you guys know I've been reacting to Apple Sleep Experiment, and if you guys haven't seen another Apple Sleep Experiment, be sure to check it out. Leave a link in the description below, and be sure to check out TheLostNarrator, and be sure to check out the original video, and be sure to check out my awesome editor, Mechanical Nightmare Fox, because this Muffin Macabre is awesome this year. So I am loving it. So be sure to go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, be sure to like the video, and comment down below your thoughts and suggestions. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Let's watch this thing in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
The night is grim and full of dark. It's a night for monsters.
Ooh.
Then again, it's always a night for monsters, when there hasn't been a day in years. By now, the monsters made themselves right at home. They snatched up ponies by the score when they weren't snatching up prime real estate in the dankest, darkest parts of the realm. Places like a cathedral. The cathedral's one of those places that's been old forever, timeless almost. It's been old since the days when the days had sun, a stone survivor from the first time the princess fought Nightmare Moon, the time she won. The Everfree grew up around it and over it, but never quite dared to brave the interior, even after all of these centuries. The big double doors are just splinters and dust now. They offer no resistance when Applejack clanters up the steps into the darkest beyond. A pony doesn't enter a place lightly. Applejack's only here because she's got a good reason. Here being one of those places she would rather not be, thank you very much. But a job's a job. So she straightens her hat and pulls the duster tight around her throat. It does nothing to stop the night's chill, but it feels nice to wear. The sour taste of cold spit fills her mouth. Breath mists in the bars of moonlight that slants through the foyer. Every step is the death of silence. Her hooves echoed off the stone floors, stone walls, stone pillars. Her tongue raked across dry teeth. She checks the corners, the cobwebs, eyes unblinking. Darkness weighs on her back, gnawing at her hide even through the duster. There is a cloying stench hanging on the air. She knows that scent. It's the rot of death, both old and fresh. Blood is smeared here and there, all of it a few hours fresh. Not enough to be noticeable right away in the darkness, but Applejack sees it all the same. She knows what to look for. Her hoof reaches for reassurance on her flank, under the long coat. Something glints there in the moonlight. Something heavy, something metal. She pats it, then moves on. A different kind of something drips from the ceiling. She stops, looks down. Blood speckles the floor at her hooves. More drops follow. She cocks her hat back, rolls her eyes to the ceiling. Even with all her experience, she almost didn't notice the black shape hanging in the shadows overhead. A lump, suspended from a beam. Her ear twitches. She stares. 2 more drops fall to the floor.
Listen, pal. You gonna come down here so we can talk? Or what?
Her voice echoes softly into the dark. The dangling lump shivers. It rotates, slowly unfurling into a greater, more sinister form. Flesh comes apart at the seams, and bones splinter. Saliva pours down like the last dregs of water from an upturned bucket and splash across her hooves. Applejack takes a step back. She grimaces and wonders where the rest of the meal went. A long knife hiss drops out of the gaping maw, stuffed full of fangs. Matching red eyes glimmer in the moonlight. Applejack's grimace widens further.
Well, you're a big fella, ain't you?
Leathered wings flare open, and the creature drops with a thud. Even hunched down, it looms above any pony. Applejack's seen plenty of vampires in her day, killed more than a few, even held pleasant conversations with one or two. But whatever this is, it certainly isn't the kind of bloodsucker you share tea with, not even if you wanted to. She almost whistles appreciatively at how ugly it is. Ugly as sin. The vampire thing hisses again, louder this time. But it doesn't seem particularly threatened by her. Curious, maybe. She looks it in the eye and wonders if it can speak. It just twists its head, though, and bristles some of that coarse black hair that covers it from pig nose to stump tail.
All right, I'll cut to the chase. I'm not here for small talk, but I suppose you already surmised that.
Mr. Monster snaps its jaw open and shut, wide eyes blinking one at a time. By the princess, it's just like a giant bat. It doesn't even have hooves. No pony ever had grasping claws like that. Was it ever a pony at all?
All right. Look, I'm not a very good shot with this thing.
As she speaks, she produces an enormous revolver from under her duster. Symbols of the sun and the princess adorn on the metal, wards against evil. The weight of it sits on her upraised hoof, pale as the stars and twice as dangerous. Gold filigree glints in the thread of moonlight. She keeps her eyes square on the beast.
But Big Macintosh here fires real big bullets. So, what's it gonna be? We're gonna do this the easy way, or we're gonna do...
The vampire, or whatever it is, doesn't appear particularly impressed. It turns to the side and almost languidly bounds away. Applejack rolls her eyes with another anguished sigh.
Hell.
The hard way, then.
She jams the revolver between her teeth and tears after the beast. It lopes ahead in a wide arch, leapfrogging between the pillars. The thing's fast, even at a leisurely jog, but there's nowhere for it to go. She aims at a gallop, her tongue finds the trigger, and she pulls. Big Macintosh kicks in her mouth. The first shot goes wide into the yard and wreaks exaggerated destruction on the foyer's distant wall. A new shaft of moonlight spears through the room. Applejack skids around the sharp turn and slows to a trot. Her hooves strike sparks off the floor and the duster flares out behind her. The next shot takes a chunk of the hapless pillar. Her teeth clenched, her tongue gone numb. The smell of cordite cancels out that of the blood and death. Her ears ring and her eyes water, but she doesn't hesitate. She doesn't blink. This time she blows the pillar nearly in half, just as the creature ducks behind it. Dust and stone fill the air. Hairy leather disappears in the muzzle flash for half an instant before her eyes catch a glimpse of movement. It knows that it's in danger now. With every bound, it picks up speed, and she realizes it's headed for the crumbling gap in the ceiling. She leads him, no time to draw a fine bead. just enough time for one last shot. Applejack takes the vampire in the side, just as it passes through the shaft of light. Even over the noise of the blast, she can hear the impact of the bullet. Powder burns sear her muzzle, and Big Macintosh punches into her teeth. Confounded thing kicks like a cannon. Her whole face buzzes, but she keeps walking. The shot flings the big beast across the room. It somersaults, caught right in the middle of the leap. One torn wing slaps the pillar, and then the whole sack of meat goes down on the ground, into a roll. It doesn't get up. Applejack takes her time picking her way through the wreckage. Faint after images float superimposed under her eyelids and turn swirling dust into half-realized jump scares. She blinks them away and tries to calm her breathing, even though she knows it's pointless. The adrenaline still pumps through her veins, her whole body shivering. Maybe it's just the cold. The beast doesn't appear to be alive when she reaches it, but she stands well back just in case.
Take another shot.
She learned long ago that you don't leave anything dead on the floor without checking it first. How many times did she shoot? She never was much for math under pressure. So, she just empties the revolver into the vampire's toothy face. This time, she doesn't miss. The first shot opens up the thing's head like a can of beans. The second shot just cleans some of the mess off the floor. There, that makes 6, and most of them misses. She reminds herself to work on her aim. Big Mac will certainly chide her about it when she gets home, and then he'll chide her over naming the gun after him. Or Granny Smith will, seeing as her new favorite pastime is haunting every pony in the house. Applejack can almost hear her croning on in the wind.
I'm the one who's dead. You shouldn't need the gun after me.
Applejack cracks the revolver open, spitting out the taste of metal and gunpowder. Smoke curls from the barrel, and empty brass bounces off the floor. She takes her time reloading, one shell at a time, always with one eye on the monster at her hooves. The taste won't leave her mouth, but the smell of gun smoke is slowly replaced by that of blood and busted bowels.
We done here?
She snaps Big Macintosh shut again and balances it on her hoof. The headless corpse spasms a little, just the nerves finally playing out. Odds are it was playing possum when she finished it off, probably just waiting to jump up and give her a good scare. Maybe another scar or two. Fat chance of that now. She smirks.
That's what I thought.
Big Macintosh spins around on her hoof and slides back into the holster. She takes satisfaction in that sound. Leather whispers the shape of iron. The weight of it under her duster is comforting. Stops her from shaking so much. She gives it a pat, then straightens out her hat, then tugs the brim farewell towards the corpse on the floor. She turns to leave. Applejack is halfway turned around when a drop of blood blots onto her sleeve. She glances down at the crisp redness of it, wonders just for an instant if it might be hers. How long was her guard down? Ice dread pulls in her stomach. One hoof paws at Big Macintosh. Then, slowly, her eyes turn upward to the arched ceiling. Dozens of red eyes and huge hairy leather forms dangle in the darkness, wings spreading to the ceiling, blood slowly oozing from gaping maws to fall glistening onto the floor. And at the center yawns a pale yellow monster, hooved, with a pony's face and wild mane of pink from which tiny nesting faces stare. Their eyes match their mother's, blood red, and fix all as one on Applejack.
Oh, shit.
She frowns.
Oh. Hey.
That's it? Wow. Wow. Okay. My God. Well, that was Evernight. 14 minutes, that's not bad. For a story like that, that's not bad. I mean, come on, Applejack being a monster hunter. Pretty cool with a fucking revolver. Alright, sweet. Alright, so that's it. So, thank you everyone so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Be sure to comment down below thoughts and suggestions. Excuse me right there. And be sure to check out my awesome editor, Mechanical Nightmare Fox. Be sure to check out The Lost Narrator. And be sure to check out the original video. And be sure to check out the rest of my Month Macabre videos, because this year has been going great. Or this month has been going great. So be sure to check out the rest of them. If I'm correct, Apple Sleep Experiment Part 3 is next. So be sure to check it out. And thank you everybody so much for watching. And as always, we will see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.